Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So today we are continuing with our Lancer campaign, solo Lancer campaign using the GME of my own devising, which you can get at a link in the footer. Might as well get that out of the way. So what happened last time? We had our two sessions, which were the skirmishes, where we had been asked by Gem and Sprocket, because we had a signal that was picked up on the station. Gem and Sprocket told us about it. We went to the radio, which was run by a lady called Melody Watson. We then went down to I think Melody Watson was the editor of the core book for Lancer. We then went down to Landfall, where we didn't actually decide where that was, but it was a planet, low planet. There was some farming, low gravity, and we managed to get the VOP off, which was quite surprising. I think the builds for Viking and Marquis really worked. Viking being more hacker based, Marquis being more melee based. That really worked. So we did our operation, which was the skill mission. Then we had the extraction and the escort and extraction. That all worked fine, and we got off world. So we are now license level 2. We have returned back to Waypoint Theta, and we are with the VOP, which we haven't described yet, so I'll get around to describing the VOP. And I've just remembered I was going to tell you about something, which I'll do in a minute. So we are now license level 2. Now, before I go on about license level 2, I'm going to tell you about something which will probably be on drive-through now, but I'm still waiting for them to approve it. If you want to join the Patreon, you can get it for free. I did a little booklet thing. I spoke to so Moses from Willinola's Cave has been making these booklet things, and I looked at them and I thought, oh wow, there's little topics on solo role-playing, and I've been giving advice and people ask me about things. I can do some of those. So I spoke to Moses, and though of course Moses didn't invent the trifold booklet format, he is someone who has been doing them recently, and so he said, yeah, fine, go ahead. I never invented it. And so I've produced one of these. I'm going to produce some more, because all those topics, like I've done particularly of the how-tos and various things, I'm going to chuck them into these little things. I'm quite proud of that. You can get that on drive-through at the moment. Well, probably at the moment. Otherwise, you can join the Patreon. I started a Patreon. People have been asking me to look at their games and give them advice on games, because I play so many different games and I've played games for years. And like, it's consultancy really. And this is all I do. I got made redundant, so this is my job. So I've turned that into a Patreon. There's only 4 slots for it. I will dedicate you some time and I'll help you with things that you're trying to create, if that's what you want. If it's not what you want, that's fine. But then I can actually dedicate time to you and give you what you actually require to help you. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to do that, and I have other things to prioritize. You know, I could spend time with Mandy or do something with that time. And if you want me to look at your stuff, that's cool, happy to. If you want me to play your game on the channel, like, that's different, because that fills in some time that I'd be doing anyway. So I'm happy to do, but I will learn your game. Sorry, this is distracting, but this is how it goes. I will learn your game as I play it, as I do with everything. And so if it ends up that it doesn't look as good as you wanted, because the Lancer people, they didn't get a say either. Anyway, back to Lancer. Enough of that nonsense. Back to Lancer. So we're license level 2. And so I've upgraded Marquis and Viking to license level 2. Oh, sorry, there's a bit of a cut there because I've confused myself. I've got 2 Vikings here. That's because I did a second level in the Horus Goblin license for Viking, which means that the Goblin frame is available. Now the Goblin frame is quite interesting as a hacker, but it is well glass cannon. That it has hardly any hit points. It will get absolutely destroyed the way that Viking goes about things. And so I thought, well, maybe I wouldn't always use the Goblin, because the good thing about the Goblin is it can retract back in and then jump on Marquis's back. And then Marquis basically will then carry the Goblin around. But Viking will still get the opportunity to do the hacking stuff that Viking does. But it wouldn't be an actual mech running around. It can jump off and then do stuff. But it's a half-size mech with only 9 hit points, and a Viking has been going through 9 hit points like anyone's business. So I also then upgraded the GMS frame, the Everest GMS frame. So he's got 2 character sheets. Basically, we took a level in hack or fix, whereas previously we did a word on the street. We increased the hacker talent for Viking, which means that he got 3 additional invade hacking attacks, jam cockpit, disable life support, and hack and slash. He then took I think he took 1 in agility for the systems for mechs, so giving him a slightly higher evasion. And we rebuilt the mech. You can get it on the link for the mechs is in the description, so you can see the character sheets for the mechs. I can't remember what I changed about the mech, but I think, yeah, he took some additional Horus system upgrades, giving him 2 additional quick tech attacks that can be done to basically confuse the enemy and stop them getting shot. That was Viking. Marquis took an additional license level in the Blackbeard frame, and also increased his pull rank, skill trigger, and took the bonded increase for talents, which means that he gains the intercede reaction, which means that as long as he is adjacent to an ally, he can take damage that the ally would receive instead. Basically, it's like he pulls the ally out the way and takes the damage instead as a reaction. And for the mech, we switched out the heavy sword for the Blackbeard, the ISP-N carbon sword, a nano carbon sword, which has a reliable 3 and a threat range of 2, which I thought was quite cool, because that then interacts with a few things like skirmish and some of the other stuff. And he actually has the Blackbeard frame. He took the Blackbeard frame because that's pretty cool. 19 hit points, 1 armor, so we actually get armor. It has an assault grapple, which means that once the core system is triggered, you can send these grappling hooks out, and it's got a frame talent of grappling hooks and various other stuff. But again, the character sheet is in the footer. You can go and see the character sheets that I've built, and the same for all of the enemies, the NPCs. If you want to use the same NPC builds that I have, so if you don't want to build them yourself, you can just grab the character sheets from my website. So that is me going. I've got done a little checklist. So it's not a script, it's a checklist. Return to Waypoint Theta. So what we didn't do, I realised just the other day, I wasn't even editing, I realised I didn't describe the VIP. I didn't describe the VIP because I didn't have any players to ask, what does the VIP look like? And I didn't think, I was just concentrating on the skirmish. So the VIP, we will say, is in a hard shell suit. So we don't see what the VIP looks like until we get to Waypoint Theta. So I can imagine we're disembarking from Waypoint Theta. The audience and Viking and Mike haven't seen what the VIP looks like. So we have a big deal of a focused shot of the hard suit of the VIP being cracked open, so they can be, breathing heavily, being really grateful to come out, and we'll describe them like the person on the cover of the Lancer GME I wrote. So she is female with dreadlocks, dressed in a tech suit. So this is the designer who has designed some frames that Harrison Armories wants. Harrison Armories wants these frames. Jem and Sprocket were the ones who sent us there. So I wrote some notes, and I've gone. So we need to describe the VIP. So that's what she looks like. She looks. I'll put that there. She looks, because I don't know if it's going to clash with the background. Sometimes it does. She looks like that. So they need a name. We'll again pick something out. Gabe. We'll pick it out of the book. Oh look, Peyton. I think Peyton, someone in this art by Peyton G. There is a Peyton who is one of the, there we go, Adventurers Guild. There's someone who's Peyton. I think they've ended their membership, but it has not dropped off. So Peyton is still there. Would have just gone up if Editing Pete caught that. Jen. One of the playtesters was called Jen. So this is. She just says her name is Jen. We don't know anything else about her name. One of the playtesters of Lance was called Jen. Jen, you are a highly skilled engineer and designer of frames, and you have some innovative new designs that Harrison Armories wants. Now, I was also thinking, why would Harrison Armories be interested in this area? And so I looked up the description of Harrison Armory from the core book, and it says that they build really hardcore mechs, frames and tech that can really take a battering. And so one of the things that they often look for is material strength. So they want strong materials that can take a solid pounding and still keep going. So maybe this sector, this new sector, the mining that has been coming to this sector, there is some material, some ore that is very strong. And that could be why those rogue drillers were drilling on Moon, whatever the number was, and Crownwell Trust Banking had bought the Moon for drilling rights to then get this material. So possibly this area has that material. And then I thought, all right, well, why have we got this sort of thing? Is there some sort of resistance thing that we could write into this story? Like there is an underground resistance that's resisting all these corporations that have just come into this sector and attempting to basically, you know, pillage the moons and the resources of this area. And the people who are already settling here who are independent, like those rogue drillers who would basically be independent drillers, independent miners, they're being pushed out and the big corporations are trying to come in and take over everything to make profit. And then I thought, well, who gave us the job to send us to go and get Jen, the designer, who has just come out of this hard shell and he's looking around saying, so what's going on? And that's where Jem and Sprocket turn up, because Jem and Sprocket were the ones who actually pointed us towards this signal, sort of pushed us in the direction to take this job. So I thought what we might have is that Jem and Sprocket turn up and they will take over and they will take Jen and say, oh, thank you so much. That it was excellent that you did this job. Like, we get lots of accommodation, and me and Marquis look, you know, Viking and Marquis looking at each other like, what's this? What, you knew about this? They're going, oh yeah. We're trying to make sure that Harrison Armories and the other corporations that are pushing into this area don't oust us. And Jen here is a highly skilled designer and engineer and doesn't want to work for those, wants to keep working with us and the people of the area. So maybe Jem and Sprocket have started a little resistance movement, which is what I thought. So if there is a resistance movement here, possibly, we know that Vera had, because we went and spoke to Vera because we messed up that first job, and Vera had something for us. Now, what was it that Vera had? I can't remember if it was a smuggling mission or something else that Vera wanted us to do. Vera, it was a job, and I've written something. Oh, I just said Vera from Jira. It's a single combat mission job that she wants to send us on. So there's a single combat mission job that she will send us on, but we don't know what for. So maybe we'll have that, or Jem and Sprocket might come up with a mission which is more for the resistance side. So we might have something which is for the corporations that basically we're going to give ourselves like a morale choice. So if this was a, you know, and a lot of the Lancer modules do come up with decision trees that you can send either way for the mission, send either way decision trees. So we might basically do a decision tree. We'll create a mission which is for Vera, which will be for the corporations, and it will be a one combat mission, and it might be quite difficult, or Vera may be trying to put us, like, land us in it because we let her down with the last mission. And then we might do another one which is for Jem and Sprocket, which is for the resistance, and we might build those two missions, and then Viking and Marquis will have to decide what to do. But first, before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of downtime, so as we can use the downtime tables from the GME, and we can then, maybe we'll roll a rumour as well. But at the moment we've got a pool of corporations that we can interact with. We've got Harrison Armories and we've got Crownwell Trust. Those are two corporations that we know are operating in this area because we've rolled those ones. Well, Harrison Armories is part of this solo setting that I wrote, which is set in Waypoint Theta. And then Crownwell Trust is one from the corporation tables that we randomly rolled. So we'll build up a small cadre of corporations that are active in this area, but we also have the local resistance that we'll include in, because that sort of makes sense to the story. It sort of makes sense to have a counterpoint to the corporations coming in and do that, sort of have some sort of resistance thing. Sort of makes sense to me. But anyway, we will send Viking and Marquis, whilst they're chatting and trying to work out what all this was going on, we will send them to the one more before landfall, and they can hang out there. And then we might have a look at the core book and see if there's a downtime thing that we can put them to that. Well, we've got a station concourse, local people. Let's let them bump into some local people. A 7 for the local people would mean Zyla, the Gilded Ghost, a mysterious mech pilot turned lounge singer. Her ballads are haunting and oddly accurate about classified missions. Okay, so when we enter the one more before landfall, Zyla, the Gilded Ghost, is lounge singing, and she's talking about some missions. So missions details, which are wrapped up within her song. So we are going to give Marquis says read the situation. Viking doesn't really have anything that would pay attention. So reading the situation, Marquis might sort of like go and listen to her for a bit as Viking will go off towards the bar, and then we can have Marquis might be able to use that information if Marquis makes a good roll. We will make it a standard 10 success, and there's some sort of information that Marquis can pick up on, and a 20, and Marquis definitely knows that there's some details there that Marquis can use. So there's a percentage chance that Marquis can use. So how about we'll give it a plus, Marquis can get a +1 on something if Marquis gets a 10, and a +2 if Marquis gets a 20. So Marquis has a 4 in read the situation. 4 plus a 2 is a 6. So what Marquis is doing is Marquis is basically just eyeing up Zyla, and so Marquis is going to go over and attempt to Marquis has nothing. Marquis has pull rank. I don't think you can pull. He can attempt to pull rank because Zyla did used to be a mech pilot. That is the rumor. But Marquis is going to go over and Marquis is going to try and chat up Zyla. Don't do much of this solo, do you? And then he doesn't really have anything that's going to help him because these characters are very very two-dimensional in Lancer. That's why I keep describing Lancer as a skirmish game. Lancer is a skirmish game. It's like this is sort of tagged on. So I don't know. It's basically he had Marquis had a success in the last mission, so we'll give Marquis a accuracy die. See, even that, it's not like a bonus die, it's an accuracy die. Oh my god, 16. All right, he gets a 16. So he's gonna chat to. So he's not hit a 20. So Zyla, and it's also Zyla's a lounge singer. She's used to people coming up and chatting to her, trying it on. It's part of her job, isn't it? She wouldn't it's like a bunch of drunk people, and she's standing there. There's a piano player. She's got a piano player who acts as a bodyguard. There we go. That sounds quite good, doesn't it? I can't spell piano. I can't. I don't know why. He's a bodyguard. Called, I don't know, Wyatt. Wyatt is very much a they, but though plays the piano beautifully, he's built like the proverbial shed. A brick shithouse, as it's called. So Wyatt sort of stands beside Zyla as Marquis comes over and is chatting to Zyla, and Zyla is quite. He's all right. Basically, just lets Marquis stay there. So Marquis is going to stand there doing that, as Viking is going to tut and then go, because Viking and Marquis, they're bonded in combat, but they still have only known each other for a couple of weeks as they've been doing stuff on station. So Viking is going to go over. We'll have greens as the 10s, and Viking is going to make a roll on the downtime stuff happening in the bar. A 52. A 52, I don't want to get the sound all messed up. A 52, someone gifts you a mysterious key card with a Union logo. No explanations. This card gives you access to an orbital bombardment platform. Call upon bombardment tactical advantage once during your next operation. All right, so he's sitting there. So this will be, so where's Viking? Viking's going to make a roll on Word on the Street, which is a +4. Natural 20. Okay, all right. So Viking knows exactly who this person is from the rumours around the station that this is somebody who is an activist, so a resistance person, resistance leader, comes over to Viking and starts talking to Viking, and Viking instantly clicks what's going on and who that person is. And that person, they don't say their name. They are older. That's because I'm looking at one of the pictures in the Lancer GME, which is older versions of some of the other pictures within the GME, sitting at the bar at the one more before landfall and having a beer. So this is an older pilot who is, let's give them some cybernetics. Oh no, clones, isn't it? So you wouldn't really have cybernetics because there's clones. Mind you, they might not like clones because they're older. They're no longer a pilot. And they come over and they're coming to, because this is a pilot bar, they come and they talk to Viking and then they are asking about the operation, and Viking gets to tell the story about the getting Jen off-world and the going invisible and the hidden stuff, and saying I think on the extraction part, on the escort, the extraction part, I was really lucky that they didn't spot me, because I got, if you look back 2 episodes, I think I got those hidden rules completely wrong, and Viking should have been spotted and attacked much earlier in that game. And really we should have been using the smoke to keep Viking hidden, because though he was invisible, he had nothing to hide behind. So strictly speaking, I think he would go hidden at the beginning of his turn, and unless he got behind something, because when you're invisible you can attempt to go hidden anytime you like, but unless you are behind something, you get spotted again. So someone would go, there's that shimmering thing over there. So beginning of your turn, you are shimmery and invisible. You use your agility to hide. You then move somewhere hidden so no one can see where you are or anything. You don't have to make a roll. You only need to make a roll if someone tries to spot you. They roll their systems versus your agility. Then you need to hide behind something. Otherwise someone's just going, oh look, there's that shimmery thing over there. Where's that come from? And then you get spotted at the end of your, so by the end of your turn you need to be behind cover, and Viking wasn't. So I think I messed that one up. So he's saying that to this resistance person, and Viking keeps asking what's their name, and they keep evading it and moving on. So we don't know their name. Their name is unknown at this point. And then as Viking is pushing for the name a bit more, because of really wanting to know what's going on, they say they have to go and leave. And as they leave the card on the pushed underneath Viking's drink that Viking didn't notice. And this card is going to gives enough data to call in a bombardment, which is part of the downtime stuff that you can then do within core. Is you can get a reserve, which is a bombardment, which basically means you can pick a point on the table and then a load of stuff drops on it, which could be useful. Here, it's the ability to call in artillery or orbital bombardment once during mech combat. Full action, range 30, within line of sight, blast 2, 3d6 explosive damage. So basically it will hit anyone in that blast 2 spot, it will hit them. It doesn't say at the end of your next turn, it says you do your full action, which is you call it in, and then at that spot, blast 2, everyone gets caned, which we could have used definitely in that last one when we had them all grouped in the middle bit, which is what sort of they were supposed to do. We could have just initiated, Viking could have just like dropped that down, and then that would have been it. Lovely jubbly. Anyway, so we get that. That's what Viking is doing, and then they are going to go on. They will, what else can we do on here? There's some other stuff that we could do. We're going to roll, because he made that really good roll, we're also going to give them a rumour, which is we roll 2d, so first column, second column, which is a corporation, and then a rumour. So a 4 is Union Medcom, which is a medical corporation, and 9, they've offered a free upgrade. Okay, so they're offering some form of upgrade. So this corporation is offering some form of upgrade as an incentive. So that's Union Medcom. Maybe they're offering some experimental tech, and we'll say it's a 50-50 that it'll work or it'll cause problems for the mech that's on. So Union Medcom is our third corporation. We'll do see if two more while in the process of things, and then we'll only use those ones from this point forwards. When we roll for what a rumor will be, we'll only use that pool of corporations for the game. So we've got some stuff going on Waypoint Theta. Let's have a look at downtime actions within the core book, because we haven't actually done any of these ones yet. We've only used the stuff from the GME, and I think it's because I find it a bit two-dimensional, these ones. They really don't give you much information, and it's really all about just getting stuff to help you on your next mission. So what have we got? What could we try and do? Oh, I know. What I will do, that thing, the Union Medcom, the experimental tech, there's a table on, for me, page 51 in core, which is mech equipment and gear. Roll a d20, and then we'll see what they're suggesting, what they're offering. A 19 jump jets. During this mission, your mech can fly when moving, but must end movement on landing. So jump jets. So they are offering some experimental jump jets to be fitted to a mech. Sign waivers. If they get destroyed, it's fine. You don't have to pay anything back. But they're experimental jump jets, which means that you can fly for move. So basically what that means is difficult terrain, and like the trees or rocks or anything doesn't cause you any problems whatsoever, but you have to land on a valid square at the end of your movement, which sounds fair. All right, so that's what we've got, because I was hoping for something else, like an extra core battery. So flying for move. Okay, so we have said we've got that stuff going on. There is nothing in the core book which attracts me for doing downtimes, to be honest. But what we might do is we might roll our 2 missions and then see if there's something that attracts us to do downtime to do with those. So first off, we have Vera's mission. Vera's mission, we know, is a single combat mission, because we rolled it. I think that was a grunt level, which is a single combat mission. So let's roll and see what our combat mission type is. So it's going to be a 1, which is a stand-up fight. So a stand-up fight. Okay, now we've got a separate table for stand-up fights to see what that could be along the lines of. A 6, hold the line. An enemy force is advancing, and it's your job to stop them cold. They have to get past your position. Don't let them. Hold them off for 5 rounds to give the next mission a chance. So basically, it's a 5-round stand-up fight. We've got to keep them occupied for 5 rounds, or destroy them all for 5 rounds. So that is what it would be. So maybe, well, let's roll for one of the corporations. So what corporations do we have? We have Harrison Armory, we have Crownwell Trust, and we now have Union Medcom. And we can put a 4th one in, and we'll call it the Resistance. And then we'll have a 5th one, and we'll roll for this one, and we'll see what corporation wants this done for. Vera is a 12. 12 is Crownwell Trust. Surprisingly enough, 12 is Crownwell Trust. So Crownwell Trust, oh, maybe it's to do, maybe we've got to go back to Moon, and what we are doing is we are needing to, extra resources or extra stuff is coming in, and those drillers, okay, so this is versus the drillers. So we know that the drillers might be part of the resistance stuff. So let's make Viking to make no, Viking definitely knows that they are part of the resistance. So if we take this one for Vera, so if we don't take this for Vera, Vera's not going to want to give us jobs anymore. So we are not going to have a good name for the fixer on Waypoint Theta. So that is, Crownwell Trust is employing us to a stand-up fight. We just basically have to fight them for 5 rounds. What's on the board is on the board. Let's roll the other stuff for that, which would be, so the environment we can do from core book, what page? 278. I say here. Here we go. Okay, environment, D20. 17. So there's a tomb world, extremely high levels of ambient radiation. Yeah, but we could just make it the same as it's the moon. We'll just make it on the moon. So it's still, because that works for me. That makes sense to me. So what did that, oh, the moon had earthquakes. That was it, the moon has earthquakes. So it's on moon 31644. So there you go, there's a piece of, even if you roll something, if something else that you've already used in the story makes more sense, bring those bits back in, keep that consistency, because in most good stories, you have those recurring bits and that good consistency of story. So that's what we've got for that. And then what's our next bit? Choose your battlefield, that's choosing the map. We know we'll use the same map. And then we'll have false, because it's a stand-up, then we'll go for 1 for 1. So this would be the equivalent of 3 activations. So a 3 activation battle, so we'd either have 3 NPCs, actually 3 NPCs on the battle, like full NPCs on the battlefield against us might be quite tricky, because grunts are easy. If we can get a tech hit, we can take them down. So we'll say 3 NPCs, and I'll see if I can I'll look back and see what I did for the first one, and we'll try and use the same one. So that's the first job. Vera has sent word that this is the job she wants done, and now we want to have a Gem and Sprocket job. So Gem and Sprocket are going to ask, now this I think is going to link to Jen, the VIP, maybe getting Jen off-world, maybe something. So first off, we'll work out the mission class. Grunt, Standard, Elite, Ultra. 3 is Grunt, so that's simple. Grunt is a single combat mission. So they want a simple combat mission. Oh, maybe, well, we'll see what comes out. The mission type is a 7, and a 7 is an escort mission. All right. Then we'll have a roll. We will roll environment, though I have got a thought of something that might be quite cool. Let's see what comes up if I roll this. A 2, extreme cold. I'm going to take extreme cold as space. Local cultures adapted to the frozen climates, but mechs and pilots quickly freeze without nearby source of heat. Mechs that don't move or boost on their turn become immobilized at the end of their turn. This lasts until they break free with a successful hull save as a quick action. In addition, all mechs gain resistance to heat. Okay, resistance to heat, that means they take half heat damage, but still a grunt. Anyway, so escort mission, we're going to say it's in space, and we're using the extreme cold. I don't know, so what I'm thinking, so if we've got an escort mission, the escort mission is getting from one side to another. If we have this in space, we can say that the mission isn't an escort mission, the mission becomes an escort mission. So we're asked to, well, let's roll the rest of it. So what else we've got? Choose battlefield, space, enemy false. So if it's, we'll use the same as in an escort for a sit rep, and an escort sit rep is twice the activations, because we did one of those. Escort sit rep is it was the last one we did. We start on one side, we have to get to the other side. There is enemies in between. We do twice the number of normal activations that we would have. So that's the escort. We of course don't know it's going to be an escort mission. We are being asked to accompany Jen as a security force to get her off-world to a space station somewhere. We will say, so though it's an escort, it's a bit like Gauntlet, but it's an escort because we have a person that we need to transport, so not just us. So Harrison knows, and we are being intercepted. Maybe we have to go from a shuttle to a big ship, and the shuttle gets destroyed, we are in space and we are going to try and take her across. So that means we'll slightly reconfigure the mechs to have the EVA things, so as we can actually move properly and not get half movement. And we then need to get her across the other side, which is getting her into a ship, and then she can then jet off as we hold this position, and then we return back to base. So we'll do that. So that is the 2 things we have to choose from. So I mean, out of the 2, personally, I mean, if Viking was here to basically make a difference and make a name for themselves, getting Jen off-world would make a name, like would be cool, because otherwise what he's doing against the resistance, against the stand-up fight for Vera, is basically just being reinforcements, like being enforcers rather, for the corporation, for demand. Whereas though getting Jen off, that can seem as though like working for a greater good. But then I think afterwards, after doing that one, Harrison, I think what tier is tier 2? Like what level is, like license level is tier 2? Tier 2 is at license level 5, so we've still got a while to go till we hit license level 5, and then we're facing tier 2 enemies. So I'm leaning towards the fact that I think Viking would want to take the job. So they're both single combat missions. There's not really much different between the two. They're not elongated. One isn't more difficult than the other. One, in fact, if anything, seems easier, which is the be security force for Jen moving off-world. In essence, that might be better. So the one thing would be we've got Viking and Marquis. I think Marquis would just do whatever Viking suggests is a good idea to do. Like, if anything, Marquis's, I believe the Blackbeard frame was actually built for fighting pirates in low gravity, and the grappling hook thing is so as you can easily pull yourself backwards and forwards. We do have, what was that flight? We do have like the flight stuff. If we try and get the flight stuff, the jump jets, then we might not need the, oh no, we'd still need to reconfigure to get jump jets on our mechs. Oh no, because we'll do that as an extra. It's an extra, like they stick them on the outside. So if we go to Union Medcom and we say that we're willing to do the tech, the downside is that if we roll like 1 to 10, they don't work for that move, and then we're half affected. They cut out every time we try and move. There's a chance they cut out and we can only move half move. But that might be all right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Gem and Sprocket's job. So we'll go to the coffee shop, we'll sit down to the coffee, have a coffee. That's when Gem and Sprocket will approach Marquis, well Viking, because Marquis is still in the one more before landfall. They're trying to chat up, what's her name, Zilla. Not getting anywhere because Wyatt is making sure of it. But still, being quite charming, rolling a 20. And we're going to, so Viking will talk to Gem and Sprocket. They're going to talk about the serve him his coffee because he had a bit too much in the with that the resistance person. Maybe Viking will mention it to Gem and Sprocket. They're going to say they know who it is. Vikings can say what's their name, and they're going to change the topic. And what they change the topic to is that they really do need someone to work as security to move Jen off-world to another location. There's a ship ready, but they need a couple of people equipped to help out. And that is where Viking will say, oh yeah, we can do that. Hoping to be back in time for Vera. And we will do, what shall we do? We could do a clock, which is what we could do a clock, and we will do a 5. We'll do a 5-box clock. As I'm making this as I go. A 5-box clock, and every time we, what shall we say? Every time we lose a structure, every time we roll a 1. Now that's a 1 on any dice. Anytime we roll a 1 on any dice, we will cross off one of those boxes. And if we cross off all 5 boxes, we are too late to get back 6 boxes. 6 boxes. All of a sudden I thought, that's going to happen a lot. Every time we cross off one of the boxes, if we cross off all 6 boxes, when we get back, we are too late to do Vera's job. If we do not cross off all 6 boxes, we get back and we're able to do a quick downtime, and then we can go off and do Vera's job, and Vera isn't angry. But if we get back and we're not, then Vera is angry, and we will have Vera's going to send some people to basically, we're going to need to get messed up. So we're going to do some out of mech combat on station, because Vera needs to make sure that all the other pilots know don't mess her around. So to teach us a lesson. So if we succeed, if the clock doesn't fire, then we can keep Vera happy and we can go do Vera's mission. If the clock does fire, then when we get back, Vera is pissed off and Vera's going to send some big lads to teach us a lesson, and then we'll try and do an out of mech combat and see how that works. But first, we will do next session, we will set up a space table with some asteroidy things as cover, and we will have to do a escort to get Jen in a hard suit across the map and into a craft to take her away. Now the thing is smoke gonna work? Will smoke work? He's still hold on. No, a smoke grenade is, so the smoke will not work, and so we will have, over the next week I will try printing out or doing some, I used to make stuff terrain, and it was but it takes loads of time and it's messy and I don't have the time, so just throwing something to the 3D printer is much faster. They might not be painted very prettily because I don't know if I'll have time to do that, because I'm still painting some other stuff. I've gone through a painting curve again, but yeah, so we'll have a space thing trying to get Jen over, and trying to get that done without the clock firing. So lose a structure, lose a box, roll a 1, lose a box. Cool. And I think that's it. That would be our downtime. Viking will go and find Marquis, who Wyatt is trying. Slowly got more and more drunk. Is still there in the one more before landfall. We'll sober Marquis up and take Marquis over to the hangars to get ready to take Jen off to a secret resistance space station somewhere, which they will be intercepted by Harrison Armory. So we will have, and that would be an escort mission. There we go. Thank you very much. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you are not a subscriber, do consider subscribing, as it helps push the channel out and lets people know about it. And I think I've said this last week as well, approximately 50% of the people who view these videos are not subscribers. Actually, it's slightly less, it's 48 or 47%. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild for all of your support. The Adventurers Guild is a way to get early access to the videos. There is a library of videos behind the scenes. I think based on the results of the poll, for me, it was last week, for you, it was 3 weeks ago, showing Forbidden Lands is people's, I love Forbidden Lands. I will start doing some more Forbidden Lands. I'll go back to that again then. Which means I'll definitely be filming that for the members, the short mini-series of the crew exploring that cave system they found. I also, as I said, I've opened up a Patreon for if you want help with any form of consultancy stuff. I've played loads of games and I can give, I have some slots for doing that. Otherwise, there's just a support tier, because Patreon takes a smaller cut than YouTube does, and then you can get access to the stuff I'm writing earlier. So that's some way to get stuff to the stuff I'm writing. So like the GME for Lancer, if I write another one like that, there's the GME for the 80s and 90s based post-apocalyptic magic and machines role-playing game that we can't mention the name of. There's the trifold booklets that I'll be writing some more of those this week. And the Cyberpunk, I have not heard anything from that publisher. I emailed them a week and a half ago, so I'm going to start writing that up to self-publish that one. It'd be lovely to have my name on a book, so by Arthouse and Orion would be great. It would be awesome, but you know, I also I quite enjoy making it, and I quite enjoy the idea of people using it. Would be quite cool. So that's enough for me, Jimmy, as they say. And that's it really. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week for more Lancer. See ya.